Hi, everyone. The mission of the Newsa-Cast is to carry on the tradition and services of the Red Smith Sports Award Banquet that was held in Appleton for 57 years. The banquet has raised over $1 million for youth sports in the area during that time, and as we work up to a live event again, we have developed the Newsa-Cast podcast. Through conversations, we highlight the stories right here from our own backyard. And just like at the Red Smith Banquet, we highlight the youth of our area, the coaches, the schools, and even local influencers that make our community great. If you would like to help us continue our mission, please head over to redsmith.org to donate.
Our new website.
If anybody's listening is interested, just go to www.diggstownrocks.com.
Yes, Diggstown rocks.
Welcome to the Newsa-Cast. What is a Newsa-Cast? It's where we bring local folk stories to life through conversation.
All right, Newsa-Cast listeners, welcome to another episode of the Newsa-Cast. We are super excited because we're kind of going back to the roots of the Newsa-Cast this week, where we get to sit back with Diggstown again and talk to them about their new music and new music that's for us as well, right?
Yeah, no doubt, Tosh. It was awesome to sit with those guys. Remember the first time we interviewed them, you and I were in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Taylor kind of set us up in there but it wasn't the greatest audio, and it was just tough right after a gig. But we thought, you know what? They just released their new album. Fantastic album. They've been playing those songs for a lot of years, so you'll recognize the tune, but they got tunes, but they got, laid down by Mark Goldie. One of his last projects was working with Diggstown. We talk about it. He retired from the recording industry, but yeah, man, it's Diggstown is fantastic. They were right. That was the first thing you and I talked about when we decided we were going to do the Newsa-Cast. You and I knew we needed cool music before we knew anything else, and right, we went right to Jack and said, "Hey, man, can we use your music?" And of course, he was open to it, and we've been a Diggstown music podcast ever since, from very episode number 1, and I don't even know what episode we're on now, Tosh, 70 something, I think. So
yeah, it was good. I mean, these guys that they play, if you haven't seen a show, you got to go check it out because they're a great band. It's one of those vibes that you just it's just relaxing. It's awesome. You sit back and just enjoy it. And they're just good people as well. They all have day jobs.
Yeah.
And this is a little, I don't want to say a hobby, but this is something that keeps them going as well. And they've been doing it for a long time. And we're super happy to that they allow us to use their music, and we're also super happy to give them some exposure that they deserve as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I've fallen in love with those guys. They're awesome, and you can check out, you can find where they play. They play all over the place. It's too hard to name off things on this show, but if you go to diggstownrocks.com, or they have a good Facebook and social media presence, you'll find them somewhere. They'll be playing, and it's well worth a show. And most likely you'll see either Tosh or I or both at one of those shows, because we're big fans of Diggstown.
Yep, definitely try to get to see them when we can, especially during the summer months. It's a little bit easier for me, and I love sitting outside in the summer and listening to them. They're a great band. So, you know what? As we're moving through here and talking about music and getting this episode rolling, again, have to pump the tires for Ledgestone.
Yeah.
Their lineup is absolutely incredible for their wind down Thursdays, which is also morphed into a few Wednesdays here and there. But Adam and Katrina at Ledgestone have put it together. They're doing some amazing things, not only with the vineyard itself, not only with Gnarly Cedar, which is opening a tap room in Wrightstown this summer, sometime soon, I should say, but their music as well. I mean, everything that they're touching, that place is phenomenal. It's it's, I still think it's a hidden gem. I think more and more people know about it, thank goodness. But it's also one of those places you can go sit in your lawn chair during the summer and just totally relax out in the grass and, snag a bottle of wine or a pint of beer and just sit back and enjoy it. It's not all pay music. You can go on a jazz night. You can go on a Sunday and listen to music. Eric Krieger, another friend of the show.
Yeah.
His band A-Town Unplugged plays out there on Sundays quite a bit. So you can check them out. So there's great things going on there. I just, absolutely love the place. And if somehow Adam and Katrina hear about this, we'd love to have them on the podcast as well.
Yes, please.
Because I think they'd be a fantastic story about everything that they've done. And hey, we're just going to go and buy a vineyard. I'd love to hear about that. So
yeah.
Tosh,
I knew you've been talking about it ever since we've had the Newsa-Cast. I haven't been out there, and that's changing this year. It's funny. I think we talked about it in another show earlier about this, and I have since found a couple of people that definitely are into going on Thursday night. So I think I've got 2 sets of people, and then certainly going to have to go with you one time as well. I think I've got a lot of nights, and I might even take off of work, Tosh, and go multi times, because that lineup,
Absolutely.
like you said, is, I mean, check that out. They're on Facebook, all these, anywhere you get social, you'll find
Right.
the lineup. But God darn it, that's incredible. Some of the names, again, we rave about Poplar Hall, but goodness sakes, this one is nuts.
Well, yeah. I mean, favorites like Yonder Mountain String Band and them Cooley Boys. I mean, Mountain Grass Unit. It's just, you can just go off and name every single week. It's absolutely incredible. So, yeah, check them out. I hope for them to become a friend of the show. Like I said, I'd love to have them on and talk. I think they're great people, and they're doing great things. So
that's our plea to the people, Tosh. We have 2 requests now that we've put out over several shows, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Those folks, we just so badly want to talk to them and just have a conversation. And then, of course, our dream for the Barstool folks, Portnoy and Big Cat. We want to give them the Nice Guy Award and the Red Smith Award. We want to have a live event. We've said that. There's social pieces out there about it. That dream. So we need your help, folks. Somebody's got to help us connect one of those 2 dots.
There you go. Absolutely. Some other, kind of music related news, Joe. I know your daughter is in Hadestown at North this week and this coming weekend as well. Incredible
show. I saw it the other night, and you and I talked before we hit record. I don't even know what to say. It's so amazing and so incredible. The talent, the production, the everything. It's you. I can't imagine Broadway even being any better, other than the theater is probably just a little more cool. But they turn Appleton North into, in this case, Hadestown. They have a rotating stage. I mean, it goes around. It's a big part of the show. The band is and the conductor is right up. They're a part of the scene. They're on the stage the whole entire time. It's a huge 2-story set. I mean, the set is just incredible. But then the talent. They have 2 casts, so basically, 2 different the main parts rotate amongst the folks, and it's just And then, I mean, like Tosh said, my daughter's been in as long as she's been in high school, she's been in every production. The amount of time they put in, I'm almost convinced they put in more time than any athlete. Both my boys went through. They were athletes. They played soccer, football, lacrosse. So all of it, I've seen all the seasons, and the time commitment for those sports was insane. But Tosh, theater takes a step. I mean, Amelia's never home. It's almost like there's just no rules for how long they can keep you there to just keep rehearsing. True. It's nuts how much time and commitment. But then you see the show and the literally the high school kids, their voices, the leads playing guitar, while singing. I mean, that's not easy to do, and to have It's just, yeah, I would recommend it for anybody to go see Hadestown. It's so well worth it, and the admission is reasonable, and the concessions are reasonable.
And what are the dates? Is it 14th, 15th, 16th this week? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or do they have a Thursday?
Yeah, they
night
have
show
a Thursday night show as well.
So this week,
yeah,
13th, 14th, the 15th, and a matinee on the 16th. So check those out.
I will definitely be at the 16th matinee, so say hi. That way I'll know you're listening to the Newsa-Cast. I never know who's listening to this thing. So if you see me on the 16th at Hadestown, yes, definitely say hi. I'll be the white guy with dreadlocks.
There you go. There won't be many other people like that. So
usually not.
Should have no problem checking Joe out.
Right.
So that's good. And, we also, besides lots of music, we have our sports is going on, and we have some huge basketball taking place. I mean, Appleton East girls making a run at the end of the year, going to states. Congratulations to them. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So they play Friday at 6:35 or something like that. We have the Kimberly boys making a run. In fact, I think the Appleton East girls play Kimberly girls at state. The Kimberly boys, after having, it's a tough, the FVA is a tough, it's an absolutely tough division.
It's incredible.
It's incredible. Kimberly had, right in the middle of the pack for the season, but they've made a run. They were a 13 seed, and every single game is an upset for them. And they just upset Appleton North on North's gym to go to the sectionals.
Yeah.
So they won the regionals, which is fantastic. Oshkosh North, obviously I'm a big Oshkosh North supporter now since I work there.
Yeah.
They've made a run, and they beat Bayport on Thursday, and they beat Homestead on Saturday. So they won their regional, and they're going to the sectionals where they're going to play Fond du Lac on Thursday. So they're making a run. The boys are playing well, which is fantastic. So there's a lot of good basketball. You got girls state this weekend, boys state next weekend. We have some Lawrence lacrosse. They'll be playing at home on the 15th and the 20th of March here. So you can check Lawrence lacrosse out in their inaugural season as well.
Yeah, no doubt, Tosh. I mean, you covered a lot. It's March Madness, and it's some say it's the greatest month of the year. Just if you're a basketball fan, it certainly is. I mean, NCAA is coming up, that selection, but the high school is every bit exciting. They're in their own tournament. Like you said, state tournaments are coming up. They're right there. Check out our Newsa Minute. This week you get this on Thursday, but the Newsa Minute covers just it's a quick recap, basically the boys side, girls side, and there's a handful of teams on both sides that are advancing on. And AppletonSportsPage.com, Leck covers the 5 Appleton schools, online, Facebook, or at the website. You can catch up on that. And Lindsay does a great job, our social media person, of shooting the word out. And of course, you guys are all fans anyway, but like and subscribe our stuff and just enjoy March Madness.
Absolutely. Yeah. March Madness is a great time of the year. So not only for college sports, but also high school. And before we know it, we'll be talking about champions, and we'll be talking about spring sports starting, and we'll be talking lacrosse. We'll be talking baseball.
Yeah.
Girls soccer. So lots of interesting stuff taking place here in the Fox Valley and around the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, no doubt, Tosh, no doubt. Hopefully the weather cooperates. That's always the great unknown in all of this. So we will see as we record the weather. They're talking high 50s, if not 60s. So let's go.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's speaking of let's go on, we might as well get this show going and here's some awesome conversations with Diggstown.
It's that time again, once again, for an old look at new, brought to you by Raleigh Winter and Associates, celebrating 55 years. Did you know that in 1962, an Appleton junior high school teacher with a strong work ethic started a residential realty company? His name, Raleigh Winter. 3 generations later, the Winters still hold true to a strong work ethic and an excellent reputation in the community. Today, Raleigh Winter & Associates remain actively involved in providing retail, office, and industrial users an affordable, well-designed working environment through the creation and/or acquisition of quality real estate in the Fox cities and even beyond new. So what do you say? Let's take an old look at new. Well, Tosh, I was perusing the 1978 Appleton Fox's souvenir program like I usually do, and I looking at the team photo, and right below that photo, Harry Chappis was in it. I remember him, great shortstop for the White Sox. I don't know if he ever made the big leagues, not sure. But anyway, right below that was the old look at new for me, and it's none other than the old Sizzler Family Steakhouse, Tosh. You remember that one, right? 2120 West College, just east of Kmart. It's not even there anymore, but I don't know, there's some ice cream shop, furniture place right over there. But this place was absolutely incredible. You could take someone you like. You could take anybody, really, but they say bring someone you like to Sizzler today. And the only thing as nice as the delicious steak you will enjoy is the money that you're going to save every time you come here. You can, Tosh, back in that day, 1978, you could pick a pair of platters, 2 for $5.98. You could choose between a combo steak, Malibu chicken, steak and jumbo fried shrimp. Tosh, that would have been an epic year to be around. I'm pretty sure. I feel like I went to the Sizzler in 1978. That'd be something Danny O would like, I feel.
Probably. Absolutely. I could see you at the Sizzler for sure.
I think Dave Hirsch was the general manager for the Appleton Foxes back then. So no doubt Dave Hirsch went in and sweet talked his way for Sizzler to buy. It looks like about a quarter page, maybe a third page ad back in 1978. Not sure what that ran the Sizzler. A couple of dinners, I'm sure, and proud sponsors of the 1978 Appleton Foxes. Fond memories of the Sizzler out on West College Avenue. That's what I've got this week. Tosh, how about you? What are you going to take a look at in the old look at new?
Well, I usually just try to find something that's happening during the week we're recording, but this came across, and I was looking at it, and it came across as the most interesting man in baseball. And this goes back to early baseball. We're talking a person who lived from 1876 to 1914. His name was George Edward, known as Rube Waddell.
Nice.
And he is the most, it is. He is the most interesting man in baseball. In his career, I'm going to tie this back to Wisconsin very shortly. He was pretty unpredictable. He left in the middle of a game to go fishing. He had a long time fascination with fire trucks and would often run off the field to chase them. He would disappear for months at a time, and during the off season, didn't know where he was. One time they discovered him wrestling alligators in a circus, and he became very distracted with fans as well. But tying this back, he is in the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. In the early 1900s, he played for a minor league team called the Milwaukee Brewers, who was coached by Connie Mack.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Yeah, he was quite a pitcher too. I mean, he was pretty dominant. Connie Mack had him. He won the first game of the doubleheader in the 17th inning. He actually was pitching and he hit a triple to win the game. And then Connie Mack said, if you pitch game 2, I'll give you 3 days off to go fishing. He pitched a complete game 2 and left immediately after the game to go to Pewaukee Lake and started fishing for 3 days.
Kind of like this guy, Tosh.
Shortly after that, the Pittsburgh Pirates realized that they shouldn't have let him go down to the semi-pro leagues, and they brought him back up, and he was pitching for the Pittsburgh Pirates at that time. So, kind of a goofy one.
Oh, I love it.
It was baseball, but kind of fun as well. And
I have a Connie Mack story if you want it.
You might as well.
Well, my dad had, so Connie Mack is an epic, a long time big league manager, always wore a suit, Washington Senators,
Yep.
a lot of teams. My dad fought in World War II. He came back after the war, and one of his sisters, one of my aunts, lived in New York, and she was an opera singer, so she might have had a little bit of pull. I'm not sure how this came about, but when he came back, my dad had box seats at maybe for the Washington Senators. I don't know if it was in New York or where the stadium was, but he got to meet Connie Mack and shoot the breeze with him. And growing up, and I still have the childhood ball that he signed Connie Mack back in, I believe it was around 1946. Weird part is, Tosh, I've held on to that ball forever, and not to get into my story, I've done a lot of moving over the last several years, and it's hard to keep stuff together. But I actually always had that ball, and I thought, what the hell am I going to do with this ball? It's doesn't really. I mean, it's great to have a Connie Mack, but what I'm not going to display it. So I brought it to a guy that's on Wisconsin Avenue, a collector, and I said, "Hey, man, can you help me sell it, find a value? What can I do with this Connie Mack ball?" Gave him the ball. He's actually on my mail route. I'm not quite sure what happened, but the store hasn't opened in about 4 months. My Connie Mack ball is still sitting inside that shut down store right now on Wisconsin Avenue. I trust when his health issues, I think, is what's going on, but I trust when they get better, he'll be in touch with me. But it made me think, like, this guy dies, that Connie Mack ball is just gone. I'm sure there's no tag saying this is my ball, but dang, Tosh, kind of a sad ending to the Connie Mack ball that's been in the family my whole life and longer, since 1946.
Oh my gosh! Wow. All right. Well, there is an old look at new.
Yeah.
Sponsored by the one and only
Raleigh Winter and Associates. My mind is just kind of boggled there, Tosh. When you say stuff out loud, sometimes it's kind of messed up. But Raleigh Winter is not messed up. Raleigh Winter is a fantastic sponsor of the old look at new, and big supporters, obviously, of the Red Smith Banquet and everything that we do. And I want to do just a real quick introduction of Diggstown. We kind of get into it, but like usual, we're not real good during the interviews setting up who we're actually talking to. But Diggstown has been a part of the Newsa-Cast since day one. They were a part of the last Red Smith Banquet when they performed in an epic after-bar party with one Bill Walton, R.I.P., who joined them on stage. There's some great pictures, and yeah, that was such a cool night. That was kind of the beginning of our relationship, and it goes deeper than that. But Tosh and I are super excited to have Diggstown. They just released their album. They've been playing these tunes for a while, but they put them together on an album. And Tosh and I got to sit down with Chris and Dusty and Jack. Those guys basically wrote the songs. We talked a lot about that. We just talked Diggstown. So enjoy, folks. Yeah, no, I was just saying, Tosh, it was a year ago, just about, we were in the hotel room and hanging out with these guys. You guys had just recently added the keys, but at that time you had talked about doing your album. That was kind of in the process. So you had talked about it, and since then, and about a month ago or so, you released your new album, Change the Story,
yes.
Which the thing I love about bands like you guys, The Dead did this, all these bands do it. We know a lot of the songs already because you've played them, you've worked them out on stage. They're awesome.
Played it for like 10 years, and then we released it.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to get them hashed out, you know.
Yeah,
we got to get it down first.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a real thing. I've heard like Garcia, all those guys. Whenever they interview him, all of those guys have always said that they work it out on the stage through the years, and then feel. I mean, is that a real thing for you guys? Is that kind of what happened?
Well, yeah. I mean, for sure, it's. I feel like it takes a while before the song actually kind of becomes its own character, you know, and it takes a while playing it live for all of us to kind of get comfortable with our parts and try some different things out. And I feel it works. I feel it works out really good that way.
Well, I have to. So, is a song ever truly finished? Because and maybe the lyrics in that are finished, but you guys are just you're jamming. So your jams, your extended jam, they're incredible. You're playing on all these songs, and I feel like that it's been fun to watch, at least in my opinion, the evolution of that just in the last couple of years of just how much you're extending these songs.
Yeah, us too. Yeah. But yeah, they're always ever evolving for sure. Tell
me about the art of jamming. What not? How do you guys jam? I don't even. That's not the greatest question, but what is the art of jamming for you guys when you're just?
He is listening.
Yeah,
listening, and you just not stepping on other people's toes, and feeling it. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's what it is.
Yeah, no, Dusty's right. It's all about listening. We're having a conversation, and with any conversation, if somebody's overbearing and talking the whole time,
over Chris right now,
you're not really having a conversation. So
it doesn't really work real well.
So yes, it requires everybody to have an open ear and give everybody space to open this conversation that we're having musically.
Question also, I mean, as you're talking about that open conversation, this isn't something that happens overnight. This is something you guys have worked together, become good friends. You know all that stuff. You know each other and your little idiosyncrasies, and that kind of comes on stage too when you guys are looking at each other and like, yeah, all right, go ahead. It's up to you. I mean, this has taken a long time for you guys to get to this point, right?
Oh yeah. I mean,
some years.
We're all brothers. We're all family. And like any family, like any brothers, there's push and pull, and maybe we get on each other's nerves sometimes, but we always we always figure a way to work through it.
For sure.
I know,
because we're more than friends.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell you're brothers. When you're writing a song, is that jamming aspect any thought when you're writing a song? Like, I'm going to write this so we can jam out and play this. Is that part of the thought process at all, or does that come after the song is written?
Well, I know for me, you just always you're leaving that space, for us to do what we do best, just kind of improvise on stage and that. So I don't know about Chris. I assume that's the same thing with him.
Yeah, for sure. Like when I write a song, I try to leave like a spot that there's going to be a jam session, or we're going to be doing some improvisation. But that's all up for interpretation. I might think maybe we're going to do it this way, and we're going to follow this certain structure of the song when we jam, and one of the other guys might have a different idea. And so when we bring a song to the band, I think Dusty and I, when we bring a song to the band, we're kind of bringing a rough draft to the band and hoping that everybody is going to add input to the song and let it become what it's going to become.
No, that makes sense. Chris, I'm just seeing your shirt for the first time. Is that Jerry? Yeah, nice. I love
That's
it.
Jerry, of course, right? Big surprise.
Oh my God, the Jack Straw! It's your album release party. About a month ago? That was an incredible 2 sets. But your set one closer was Jack Straw, which was absolutely insane. I mean, that had to be easily a 12, 13, 14, 15-minute long Jack Straw, which was just sweet. I felt like it. Maybe it was 2 minutes. I was feeling good.
We do like to play that one, so it tends to go on a little bit.
It's got such a sweet jam section, though. That you just can really like lay into it and really like hit it home. Take your time with it.
You guys did that night with that tune. It was incredible. I mean, and it was noticeable too. I mean, you have great fans, and there was great turnout, and people even in the bar that actually weren't in the part where the music is. We're asking. I had some buddies that were out there, and they loved that tune too. So no, it was a great night.
It was a really fun night. We had a great time, and it took a bunch of planning to plan all that out and to make sure like we had merch and our albums and everything all with the giveaways with the Mark from Appleton Beer Factory had the tickets available, so we had to plan it all out, and it was cool to see it all come to fruition. And not saying I'm glad that it's over, because it was so fun but it's kind of
Glad that it's over.
kind of a weight off the shoulders a little bit now
Right.
that that's all like done, and we released the album and everything's, we have new merch.
Yeah, I wanted to
and-
touch on that. That's awesome. It was great looking merch. I mean, you have calendars, shirts, stickers. You have everything that you would expect. How is the merch business? What kind of?
Well, we're not
How's it
quit our
going?
day jobs.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Do you have an inventory? Who has to just store it?
Yeah. So Dusty headed up the merch
Yeah.
department in our band. He's in charge of it.
If anybody's listening is interested, just go to www.diggstownrocks.com and
Our new website.
Our new website. Dusty took care of all this, designed the site, ordered the merch, bought the little square thing for taking credit card orders. Logan helped head all that up, and he knew some of the technology that maybe we didn't know so much, and it was a group effort, but Dusty headed up that department.
No, that's awesome. I understand that. That's how this podcast works as well. I mean, you're dipping yourself into kind of new technology, new things. I love to hear that. So do you have then inventory that you have to store? And I mean, somebody orders, you're shipping out the shirts or whatever.
Yep.
They're flying off the shelves.
Everybody wants to be a rock star. Dusty, what was it was Diggstown, and I missed the end part of the website.
Rocks.com.
I've had a few chances to have a little bit of a drive and listen to your music as I'm going back and forth to Oshkosh now. If you could just tell me a little bit about your inspiration when you're writing songs. I mean, obviously it sounds like from the beginning, these have been several years in the making, but what are some of your inspirations? Does it just click for you? Is it something that you see, what brings it together for you guys?
For me, I just, I'll get a kind of a melody in my head, and maybe I have some words to that melody. Maybe I don't, or maybe I just have to put some words to it, but I kind of go from there, or maybe I'll have some sort of, funky little bass hook or something that I want to lay down. Then that's, you just kind of start from there, and you kind of build out. And a lot of times it's just, you got to just sit down with a notebook and just, I've also, like sat down and been like, okay, what am I going to write about? And I wrote one song. We haven't released it yet. I've yet to bring it to the band, but it's pretty close. I was, just by looking, at, news articles on Yahoo, and kind of went down a rabbit hole and found this kind of interesting story about, this one individual, and wrote a song about that.
Okay.
Well, Dusty, we're looking forward to this.
Yeah. This is news to us right now.
News.
Breaking news. Sweet.
Dusty, do you carry that like a notebook with you with just phrases, words, thoughts, and you just dig through that?
I mean, I used to kind of do that, but now with the smartphones, it's so easy
true.
to kind of lay something down on the voice recording. So
yeah, that makes sense. I always forget about that.
Yeah, I always used to have and I still actually do keep like a pad of paper and that like by my end table in the living room and at my bed, but at the same time it's still so easier just to go and hit tell Siri to open voice recording and scat or whatever I'm going to do. That's probably the bad word to use in that sentence, but
I get it. Did you write How Much I Care?
I did.
That's the greatest breakup song I've ever heard in my life. Yeah,
it's a love song.
It's incredible. I bet you I listened to it 6 times today alone.
We had fun doing that one in the studio.
That has to be fun singing. I mean, I don't know if we can say that one of the backup lines you guys are singing harmonies or whatever of let's just say, I don't know, relieving yourself on somebody.
relieving yourself.
Yeah, there we go. But
Pissing
you
on
sang
one's
it
head.
so beautifully. It was.
It's heartfelt.
Don't cry, honey, I know it's hard, and I don't like to see you sad. But I'd save those tears for another man, 'cause this one's done feeling bad. I'll pack your things and call a cab. I'll make this easy for you. But some things to remember on your ride that I will never do. I would never ever do any of those things, 'cause that's how much I care. 'Cause that's how much I care. 'Cause that's how much I care.
So the recording process, what you were at Rock Gardens, right, for this one, and with Mark
Yes,
Goldie
yeah.
right now, and he just recently retired, correct?
Yeah, he just
announced his,
yeah. Isn't that crazy? He's been. I mean, it's kind of harsh. He's been a fixture for all us musicians in this area for so long. It was quite the shocking news when he announced it. I did not see that one coming.
Yeah, does that create a pretty large void then for recordings in that locally, or how does that? Yeah.
I would say that opens up an opportunity for someone else.
Yeah, that would make sense. But, well, could you speak to? I mean, you must have been one of his last groups through. But what was it like recording with him? What, kind of walk us through day of. I know it was a couple of sessions or a few sessions. What
couple of weekends, basically.
a couple of weekends? Yeah. What's it like, kind of start to finish?
Yeah,
3 weekends. Yeah.
well, his tagline was usually, I think you got one better one than that.
I like that.
He's good at he's good at getting the best out of you. He pushes you, and he's been doing this for a living for so long, and we haven't. So we would rely heavy on what he had to say, and he kind of directed the whole thing, and if he thought we could do it better, he would say, I think you can do it better. Let's do it again.
So you come in that first weekend, or did you prepping with I don't know, however many songs, and then you're playing them then for Mark and laying tracks, so to speak. And
so the first weekend, so it was 3 weekends. The first weekend would have been basically getting the structure down. You play all the songs, and the most important thing that first weekend was just getting the bass and the structure of all the songs down. Drums and bass are very important in that first part. And getting, just like I said, getting all that down to build off of at that point. And then the second weekend was all about overdubbing. Now the second weekend is redoing all the stuff that we didn't like. I redid most of my solos, because that's what's great about working in the studio is, I go back and listen to the solos that I did kind of on the spot, and a lot of it I didn't like, and a lot of it I'm like, I can do that better. And so that gave me the opportunity to kind of like write my solos, and be a little bit more direct about my solos instead of kind of like noodling around, and get that down. Also, any mistakes that Dusty wanted to fix or anybody wanted to fix. Josh had, if you listen carefully, Josh has all kinds of cool little percussion stuff going on in the background. Yeah. That was also done in the second weekend. All the vocals were done in the second weekend. So the second weekend was probably the big weekend. That was probably the most work. And then that third weekend was the mixing and mastering weekend.
And is that just a lot of listening?
Yeah, just going through, and Mark kind of, us telling Mark where we kind of think things should be, and him telling us where he thinks they should be, and like I said, using his knowledge, kind of letting him run with it, but he wanted our input as well on what we thought, where we thought instruments and vocals and stuff should lie in the mix.
Right. That had to be kind of like exhausting weekends for you. I mean, mentally, just all of that.
It was fun, but yeah,
it's work. Yeah. It's work for sure.
How do you? How is that the final? I guess I don't know what you call it. The album lineup, the order of songs. How do you put that batting order together? Is that any thought? I'm assuming there's some kind of rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah, I mean, we all kind of had input in it, but I mean, like kind of most albums, we kind of thought we kind of put like this what we thought were the strongest songs. Like, you know, I know it's a CD, but you're kind of thinking of it like side A and side B. You know, A side, B side. So we are kind of like thinking about like, you know, having our strongest songs on the A side. You know, I mean, we feel they're all strong songs, but the strongest of the songs on the A side, you know, and as opposed to B side.
Did we do some choosing between like who sings what, like one guy sing, then the next guy sing?
Yeah, and that's in there too. You know, we don't want one guy singing, you know, 4 in a row or something like that.
Sure.
You know, so we try to kind of go back and forth, and so that has something to do with it. So you're kind of factoring a few different things in when you're laying it out.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So when you're done on that third weekend, everything's finished. You have Change the Story is done. I guess what happens then? I know that you used to get the vinyl record, but I mean, do you get? I guess you get see. What is that next process? I guess just kind of maybe a nerdy question, but what happens next? I know WAPL. I know you've had airplay on Sunday mornings with this quite often, which is cool to hear as well.
Well, the next step after that was I got with the artist guy who we hired to do the artwork, who did a fantastic job, Marty. So we kind of had to, you know, we went through that whole artwork process. You know, I kind of had a couple ideas that I kind of threw at him. I kind of had like a little vision of just like, I don't even know if I call it a vision, just some ideas. Like I had the idea of like having a path that kind of went back and into the horizon with a couple like wooden posts, you know, Diggstown, and so I just kind of gave him, I kind of gave him a couple of my ideas and I let him run with it.
Did he draw that, or is that how? I mean, it's an awesome picture. If anybody hasn't seen it, I mean, the colors are fantastic. I mean, there's a frog sitting on a mushroom. It's cool.
Yeah, and if you open, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but if you open the front and back, it's a continuous picture.
Oh no, I guess I didn't. Oh, that's cool.
So yeah,
he drew that. Oh,
he drew that.
Some people.
No AI there.
Yeah, I guess that's ultimately what I was getting at. That's really, really cool.
Yeah,
that's a custom design.
Yeah, no, that was good. And you know, he didn't get it right away. Like I think like the first one he threw my way, I wasn't too fond of, and I said, that's not really what I'm looking for. Can you throw me something else? And then he threw the second thing he threw at me. Then we were starting to get somewhere.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic.
Well, so besides that, back to like after we're done recording, then remind me what was our wait time? Mark had to take the files. He sent us all a rough draft, right? So we could listen to it. And then what happened after that?
Well, that was during the whole process.
Okay.
Yeah. When we finally got the album done, the artwork was finished. It was summer, and a couple of the guys are really busy. You know, Logan and Josh play in other bands, Dusty as well, and everybody got real busy with summer. So we kind of had to put it on hold for a little while. You know, because we just nobody really had time to do anything with it. So it kind of sat over the summer, and once we get busy in the summer too. We play a lot. We play, you know, from the summer months, June, July, August, September, those 4 months in Wisconsin, because we don't get too much warm weather around here. So those 4 months, you know, in a Wisconsin summer, I mean, that's when everybody gets out and plays, you know. And so when our summer schedule wrapped up, then we kind of got back at the album, and so we had to, you know, the artwork was done. We had to figure out who our distribution company was going to be as far as getting the album to basically they're a replication. It's a CD company. There's a few of them around, but we chose this one out in Minneapolis called Copycat Media, and they're a duplication distribution company, and we had to have Mark send this company the actual studio quality. I can't remember what the actual format was, but it was some heavy duty format that he had to send to this company, which was like the real processed deal from the studio recording. And he sent this Copycat studio this format recordings, and so everything had to get planned out. We had to get the artwork to there's a photograph on the inside from Graham Wishaka, who is our photographer. And so there was also we wanted to get some new photographs. So we also had to get a photography session in so we could get some new photographs so we could put that one in there. So there was a lot of stuff that we were juggling to get this all done. And it was a lot of work. And there was a lot to it.
Yeah, no doubt. It's not easy being a band, is it?
No, people think it is. People think it is, you know.
Especially when you're not doing it full time.
Yeah. People think we just show up on Saturdays and have a great time.
No practice, no nothing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and social media and like you said, like a website and everything that goes, I almost feel like music takes a backstage, right? That's your fun time, but everything else takes all the time. It seems like, and obviously, you know, you can get the record, the CD, but you can also listen to it on Spotify as well. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Does it, I mean, people listen to your music. I guess that's the biggest benefit, but is there any other benefit of being on Spotify from a musician's standpoint?
We made $39.
Heck, golden.
So there's that.
I said I wasn't sure if that was Spotify or that was all of the streaming media.
So for streaming, we have a social media streaming distribution company that we use called DistroKid. And so all the music gets uploaded to DistroKid, and that gets distributed to all the different streaming platforms out there: iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora. I mean, you name it. All the different YouTube Music, all the different streaming services that are out there. That's what this DistroKid does. They're our social media distribution company, and that's their job.
Wow.
Do you dip into YouTube at all? Anything like that with the music?
Yep. So now there's two different YouTubes. There's YouTube Music, which is their streaming platform, and that's taken care of by DistroKid. But then there's the actual YouTube videos. So now that I have to go and actually I take all the audio and I have to actually make a little video. So this takes time too. I have to actually make a little video, where I just basically upload the audio, I upload the artwork, and I can put like a little title on it. The app that I use is very simple. There's not much to it. There's not much really I can do with it. It's not some great app that I have. But for each track I had to make like a little video and then upload it to YouTube, like regular YouTube.
We have another idea. We have to find somebody to video. If that show was on video and put on YouTube, your Appleton Beer Factory show, your release, if that was video as well, I mean, it's the music. I feel like I listen to so much music on YouTube by just watching the shows. That'd be cool to see one of your live, because you released, didn't you, maybe a couple of years ago? Was it the Gibson's live shows or whatever? I mean, that's my fit. I mean, I like all your music, but that's the one I just like the live music. Just personally, I love that. Yeah,
and that recording turned out, for a live recording, that recording turned out really phenomenal. Yeah, we were pretty taken aback when we got that. Who was that? Aaron Dusterhoff that did that. Yeah. The sound guy at Gibson's who took that and mixed that recording for us a little bit and got us and gave us back that recording. And when we got it back and listened to it, we were all pretty taken aback by how good, like, holy crap, that's a great sounding live recording. They don't usually sound that good and clear, and you can hear all the instruments really well, and the vocals are out in front. And
that's awesome. Hey, I do have this is kind of going down maybe a nerdy hole, but you guys have been playing for a long time. Do you develop like a brand loyalty with the instruments you play, or have you developed that over time? Or are you kind of like, I'd like to try this, I'd like to do this, or are you like, I'm sticking with this for the remainder of time?
I'm open to whatever I can afford. I'll get another guitar. I'm always looking. I think Chris is more of a find one and stick with it kind of.
Well, no, I mean, I've been through a bunch of different guitars. I'm always searching for. I can't speak for the other musicians, but as a guitarist, I'm always like in the search of tone. I'm always searching for like a certain tone, and it's I haven't quite achieved that yet. I'm getting closer, but I have not quite achieved that tone that I'm looking for.
Okay.
You know, it's all between for me. It's all between guitar and amp and pedals. It's not just one thing. You know.
Is there a holy grail for any of you guys that if I can get this, I could afford this. This is what I want.
I'm not sure. No, I guess not. Vintage instruments are out of control with price, so something like that is hard to achieve.
Yeah, like certain amps, like some of the Skip and I both play Fender Deluxe Reverbs, but reissue Deluxe Reverbs. But to get the real deal ones, the real deal blackface amp, the real deal blackface Fenders of the '60s, of the mid '60s, that are apparently, they have all the old circuitry and all the real point-to-point wiring and all the nice capacitors and all the, because they made things better back then. Everything, and so those amps, these amps that Skip and I play, these reissued Deluxe Reverbs that Skip and I play are probably like $800 to $1,000 amps. But to get one of those amps from the '60s, it's a $5,000 amp.
Okay.
So. And people swear that there's a difference. I wouldn't know really, because I don't have one. I wish I did. But people swear that those older amps and like I said, the older components, and they made things a heck of a lot better than they make them now. There's a difference in tone and sustain and things like that.
I've got my Music Man bass, and I just love that. I'm really happy with the sound I get out of that and the different tones I can get with the Mark bass. Haven't been, I've always felt like I've had pretty nice basses. I haven't had a lot. I've owned, I think, 5 basses in my lifetime, and I still own 3 of them. So not real picky, but I know what I like, I guess.
Yeah, Dusty, whatever you're doing, I think I mentioned this the last time we talked, but every time you play Vampire Logic, it just blows right through your heart. You can just feel that just go, and it's an incredible bass. So keep on keeping on with that. You can find every episode on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, or any podcast app. Follow our social accounts for show updates, local events, inspirational content, or simply for fun. Follow us on Facebook, X, TikTok, Blue Sky, or Instagram. Please contact the Newsa-Cast to share your story, offer a suggestion of a particular athlete or sport, or even an idea, or just simply say hello. Newsa-Cast@gmail.com. How long does it take you guys to set up a stage, get ready for it? You walk in with your gear. What's your setup time to get ready?
Well, for me, it's pretty easy. I walk in, I kind of throw my amp down, plug in, and I'm all set to go. And have all these fancy pedals and everything, and don't have all these drums and
the drummer Josh has the biggest thing he's got to set up. It probably takes him a little bit longer than the rest of us. Another thing we kind of just started playing with is we're starting to play with in-ears a little bit. So now that takes a little bit more time to try to dial that in. We're all getting old and we're all losing our hearing because of all this rock and roll music we've been playing. So the in-ears, we've been playing with in-ears, and that helps tremendously for us to hear ourselves, than just relying on the monitor. But there's hiccups, and like at the Appleton Beer Factory show, I was having trouble. Like Skip's guitar for some reason was in the mix in my in-ear, and the didn't like that. I loved it. It
was distracting.
I loved it too much, so I had to get it out of there. So anyway, so the sound guy who was running sound for us that night, who did a fabulous job, but he couldn't. So we were able to. He figured out we were able to get that out of there for a little while. But like halfway through the second set, it came back, and it was really loud. It was like louder than my vocals even. So basically at that point, and I didn't want to sit there and stop the show. Hold on, we got to fix this. So at that point, I pulled the in-ear out and just went old school with the monitor at that point. But the in-ears have been nice. And back to what you were saying is that takes a little bit of time to dial in now in the beginning of the show and get all that figured out, you know. And it relies heavily on the sound guy too, and how knowledgeable and how good he is. And we've been blessed lately with a lot of these shows to be working with some fantastic sound engineers that know exactly what they're doing, and they're really quick, and they're really good at dialing it in and making everything sound really good.
Yeah, they're fun to watch with their iPads walking around the crowd, getting different points of hearing, I guess. Does the in-ear, is that kind of like noise canceling then? So you're not hearing the speakers or anything? That's protecting your ears?
Most of them have limiters on them, so you don't blow your eardrums out if something goes wrong. But
yeah,
I don't. When you don't have those monitors, those stage monitors blasting, because those monitors get picked up by the mics, and so that's just creating, that much more stage volume too. So that helps a lot of the process too when you can have those monitors off or turned down.
Yeah, that's a whole nother world. But like you said, there's a lot of great ones out there. What's coming? What's the schedule look like as we're recording here? We're coming to a close of February. This will come out, I think, sometime in early part of March. So what's a spring, summer looking like?
Well, we contractual obligations. We really can't announce anything.
Yeah. Right. Oh no, I get it. That's why you follow the website.
But the festival, we're working on our summer schedule. And when those festivals and stuff that we're going to be a part of decide that they're going to announce, they're the ones who get to announce. Sure. We are doing something. I'll just say we are doing something really super cool up in Green Bay about mid-April. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because that has not been announced yet either. So as far as schedule, we really can't go into that too much right now.
Well, I was just going to go off on a different tangent and ask you about any music you're listening to now, or what's catching your ear. Any good stuff out there?
I tell you, I cannot. For the life of me, and I've tried, I cannot get sick of listening to the Grateful Dead. So I still listen.
Absolutely.
I still listen to the Grateful Dead a lot. There's always these new up and coming bands in the scene that of course Billy Strings is awesome, and this new band Goose is making waves. Yeah. They're pretty awesome too. So,
Chris, I've been watching. I'm a letter carrier, so I listen just a ton of podcasts and music. That's all I do all day. But I've been on a Joe Russo kick. I forgot how good that band is as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Is that J-Rad?
Yeah. J-Rad. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Joe Russo's a fantastic drummer.
Yeah, but all the musicians are great. Their voices are incredible.
Oh, for sure. That's a good band.
Yeah, they're. But your Jack Straw is right there. It might even been a touch better.
Yeah. Well, thanks. We appreciate that.
But how often are you guys pretty much playing your instruments? Walking around the house, do you set aside time? How much are you just playing your instruments?
I practice a little bit every day.
Yeah,
I don't usually miss a day.
At least every day too.
I can't say the same. I should
for shame.
I should probably practice more than I do.
Yeah. What are you guys, Jack? Do you have like a scheduled time at 5 o'clock?
It's kind of like in the evening, kind of maybe before bed. I'll practice anywhere from a half hour to an hour.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll plug in and practice. Other times I'll just have my electric in my hand, just kind of noodling and just playing. Yeah. Try to do productive practice.
Sure.
But sometimes you end up doing noodling.
Do you still have like teachers or anything, or do you anybody that you go to, or is it just are you guys so far advanced that you don't need that? I don't know.
No. Yes, that part. The advanced part.
I'll watch YouTube lessons and try to pick some things up. And there's a guy that lives down the street from me here. We'll get together and play once in a while, and he's a good, knowledgeable guitar player. So I pick up things from him.
Yeah, YouTube's a great thing. You can go on YouTube and there's videos of these just astonishing guitar players. You know, like if I'm looking for like if we're learning a new like cover or something like that, and I'm you know, a lot of things I can pick up by ear, but if I'm struggling with a certain like part or maybe even like a certain lick, I'll go online and go on YouTube and watch some videos and get a good, you know, watch a couple different guys' videos and get a good grasp of what's going on in that piece of that tune.
I like to watch the 11-year-old kid that can play better already than I'll ever be able to play.
There's a lot of those out there. There's a lot of those out there, man.
Yeah, it just makes me feel so good.
Well, guys, I don't want to. I know it's late on a Friday night. This has been awesome, though. I just wanted to kind of catch up casual. I mean, I'm fortunate here. I get to see you guys play quite a bit. And I love it. Those are always fun nights. You've got incredible fans. The people that come to your shows, I begin to kind of make friends with a number of them, and yeah, they're cool people.
Yes, and you're right there too, Joe. We always love seeing you at the shows, and Tosh, you should come out more often.
I've got to make one of these. Working too much sucks.
Yeah, no, we'll have some shows coming up.
That's
pretty soon.
When Tosh and I decided to do a podcast, we love music, and we wanted to. That was the easiest choice, Tosh, I think, right? We had was, okay, we got to go to Diggstown. And Jack, you were walking your dog. I think I asked you at the end of my driveway if we could use your music. And
Joe's stalking you.
I remember.
Joe's a stalker, you know.
That's right.
We live pretty close to each other, so that's not weird. And once in a while, he actually delivers.
Yeah, every once in a while. You know, but the music has been fantastic. And I was talking to Taylor, who edits all of this and cuts out what we don't need or whatever. He's awesome. He likes your music as well. And he was telling me he was going to go through and get some new riffs for the show. So it'll be looking forward to that, definitely.
Yeah, awesome. No, we appreciate using our music. It's really our pleasure, and you know, it's a benefit for all of us, really.
If anybody wants to hear our music, you can download it for free on our website.
Yes, Diggstown rocks.
Or better yet,
buy the CD.
You can purchase CD for $10. The price is right.
There you go.
Yeah, support the merch department of our band.
Yeah, definitely. I have to do that. I'm going to put a reminder of that for myself to do that. Do you guys have any vinyl?
No, that was too pricey.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Super expensive.
Very, very, very pricey. Very pricey to get that done. And I know it's like the in thing nowadays, and like vinyl's made a comeback, and we've had a couple people ask about it, but it's just not even close to feasible for us at this moment. Yeah.
Yeah, Diggstown rocks. So, thank you guys.
All right, Newsa-Cast listeners, we're super excited to bring you the Red Smith Throwback. We'd like to take a little clip of the interview you'll get fully on the YouTube channel on Sunday, but this goes back to 1990, and since we're getting close to that baseball season, we have the one and only Don Sutton.
Yeah, Tosh, another absolutely great hair. We're on a run of epic hairdos. Don Sutton had one of those, but yeah, more importantly, one of great Major League Baseball pitcher, 70s, 80s. I mean, he played for the Brewers, pitched for the Brewers for a bit. Also, super well known for just being an on-air broadcaster of baseball, the Braves.
Mm-hmm.
He's great. I remember him too. Obviously, he's a Dodger as well.
This is get you primed for the baseball season that's coming up quickly. And we hope you enjoy this. Remember, catch the full interview on our YouTube channel. Remember to like and subscribe while you're there.
Yeah, 1990 at the Red Smith Banquet at the Radisson Paper Valley Hotel in downtown Appleton, Wisconsin. Tosh and I were there.
Take a nice listen to Don Sutton.
The Red Smith Sports Award Banquet.
The main reason that this banquet was established was to honor at least 10 local area people who might not have been honored for the job they do to help in sports.
The Red Smith Award, of course, goes to someone who has made some unique contributions to sport.
Who has made a significant contribution to sports in the state of Wisconsin.
And also epitomizes the great values that Red Smith exhibited.
Let's give a Red Smith welcome.
He may originally be from Clio, Alabama, but to us, you'll always be one of our favorite Milwaukee Brewers. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1990 Miller Nice Guy Award goes to Don Sutton.
I made 768 starts in the majors, so why can I hear my heart beating now? Susan, thank you very much for those kind words. Mrs. Smith, ladies and gentlemen, to the committee from the Red Smith Sports Award Dinner, thank you very much for allowing me to be here. Do you know how exciting it is to start something that a relief pitcher will not finish? This is great. That's two great things. Secondly, this is the first thing I have ever been given related to being nice. I never got a nice guy award. I got kicked out of 2 ball games for allegedly scuffing the ball. I want you to know I feel right at home here with 1,800 of you. That was the average daily attendance for the Braves last summer. It is really great to be back here. I was sitting here with goosebumps listening to the Bob Uecker call the play-by-play of my 3,000th strikeout. There have been some really terrific things happen to me in my life. My greatest thrill in baseball was to win 300. The second most memorable game in my life was one Sunday afternoon in Baltimore. Remember, we had gone into Baltimore with a 3-game lead with 4 to play. We only had to win 1. We went to the playoffs, but we went to Sunday, and I would have felt disadvantaged if I had not had a chance to have the ball. And I remember thinking very clearly, if I can get us off the field, these son of a guns are going to score some runs. Seems to me Robin Yount made that academic very quickly with a home run. And speaking of Robin Yount, it's only appropriate that he would remain a Brewer now and forever, and I'm glad he did. It seemed only appropriate to me, if I were the general manager, that somewhere down the line, Paul Molitor should now and forever be a Milwaukee Brewer. And only in this state could you get 1,800 people together in the middle of winter at a dinner like this, where when it started, I had a job. That's how long it's gone on. But could you get a group of people together like this to enjoy time with each other, to allow some of us a chance to walk in front of you and thank you for remembering us, but so that kids can be the recipient of our good time together. And it brings back a lot of memories of my being traded here, getting off the plane at General Mitchell Field, going down to County Stadium, walking into Harvey Keene's office and saying, "Harvey, you have any rules?" He said, "Yeah, I have 2." And I thought, oh, gee. He said, "I'd like for you to be on time, and I'd like for you to give me your best." And then as I started to walk away, and he said, "Oh, yeah, I'd like for you to enjoy being here." And did he call that right? My first start, if you remember, I carried a 2-1 lead into the ninth, gave up a 3-run homer. We lost it. You people sitting there gave me a standing ovation for losing a ball game. Guess you were used to that. Either that or you'd followed my career very closely. In my years in playing baseball and in experiences, I have learned that we all want 3 things out of life. We all want to belong somewhere. We all want to love somebody and have that love given back to us. And we all want to feel like what we're doing is worthwhile. Never in any time in my life have I felt that any more than my 2 years in Milwaukee and my 2 years with the Brewer. Never has it been any more etched in stone than to be asked to come here tonight and to be given your Nice Guy Award. There's a list of some very impressive people who have preceded me here, and I'm very flattered to follow them. I would hope that every player who got a chance to play baseball would have at least one good memory. I'm so fortunate that I have a lot of great ones, and so many of them happened in this state, and thank you for adding one more.
All right, Tosh, another epic throwback to the Red Smith Banquet. And say it every week, go to the Newsa-Cast YouTube page, hit like and subscribe. That really, really helps. But more than anything, just enjoy. Some of these are so, so good. I mean, they're just, they're incredible to listen to. So check that out. And like we always say, tell a friend. And we're going to tell our friends out there that we're coming to an end of another Newsa-Cast episode. But before we get out of here, Tosh and I always end the show with "It's Forgotten," and I'm never forgetting. So, Tosh, what's forgotten in your world?
Well, this is a simple one because my body's struggling right now, and it's daylight savings. Because as we record this, he sprang forward, and there are so many different studies and things, sleep is a big thing, and it's almost like jet lag that it takes your body, I don't know how many days I read in an article to adjust to daylight savings time. And it actually said that it might be doing more harm than good. Originally, it was supposed to help with, electricity consumption and having a little bit longer nights and different things like that. But my body wants to go to sleep early because it's later or earlier or whatever it is than it should be.
Messed up.
And my body's not adjusting. So I'm going to forget daylight savings time. I know there's a movement to get rid of it or to stay at the same time all year. We'll have to see if that happens.
Yeah, I don't know what the right answer is. I guess pros and cons for each. And no matter what, I mean, it's just, it is what it is, I guess, right? It's going to be dark one of the either morning or night, and just you get used to it, I guess.
At least for a couple more weeks. Then we hit spring and we start getting those longer days. So
no doubt.
How about you, Joe? What would you want to forget this week?
Well, I wasn't going to tell this story, but like I just told you and I told yesterday or one of these past days, I went over to Taylor's house, our editor, and we were just working on the podcast. He has a pretty sweet studio, and I just kind of jokingly, I don't even know how it came up, and jokingly told him about my morning, and then all right, he's laughing about me. It's probably a pathetic look into my life, and I may share too much on this podcast, but I'll share this story. my oven doesn't work, Tosh, and I think it basically needs to be cleaned. At least I'm hoping that's what it is. Divorced father of 3, things get rough sometimes on my end. But anyway, it doesn't light, and I've got a whole bunch of frozen pizzas, and I've suddenly mastered the art of making a frozen pizza in a pan and put a cover over it right on the stove top. The stove works. It gets a little crispy on the bottom, and that's what ranch dressing is for. And yeah, that's what I crushed before I ran over to Taylor's, and I'm telling him that story, and his mouth was a little gapped when I told him. And it's one of those things where when you actually say it out loud and explain it to people, it's not quite as normal to them as what I think it is to me. So I don't know. That's what happened yesterday, Tosh. After I came home from Crunch, I made a frozen pizza in a frying pan on a stovetop.
All right. Well, welcome to college life. And
not sure what's going on with me, Tosh. Really not sure what's going on with me, but something's happening to me.
Something is.
Yes. Yes. Right. But I learned from Big Cat that it's all about the content. So at least it's generating content if you look at it in a certain way. But anyway, Tosh, that's soon to be forgotten, I hope, in my life. Maybe even after this podcast. But how about you? What do you never forget? I've already forgot what segment we're on. What are you never forgetting?
Well, it's not that I never want to forget this. It's just that I can't, because I see the countdown to the NFL draft everywhere now.
Oh, I think of you every day. Every day I see that.
Every single place.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a real cool event, but I don't need to be reminded every single day of how many hours, days, minutes, seconds we go until the draft. So that's my never forgetting.
Yeah, you're never going to forget it until the event is over with, unfortunately. But how about that stage? I can't wait to see that thing be built.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, think about all these people coming to Green Bay to check out a bunch of young kids, hopefully getting picked right and making a difference for a team. That's pretty cool. And that stage is going to be pretty awesome. So,
yeah, it's been, I have to say, I've sort of enjoyed the news reporting of just kind of like from the event planning, those folks. It's kind of coming because, I mean, what a footprint they have to fill in security and just all the activities. I mean, there's New York folks living in hotel rooms up in Green Bay. Their job is to put this on, and they just
absolutely.
It's incredible. It's kind of cool to watch it from that standpoint.
Yeah, it is cool, and it'll be exciting when it's here. Hopefully we have some nice weather so we can eclipse the numbers in Detroit, and people leave this Fox Valley with a good taste in their mouths and talk about how awesome it was. So.
Again, if the weather could be just beautiful, that would just make all the difference in the world.
Well, that's what we're hoping for. So,
that's right.
All right, Joe. So that's my never forgetting. How about yourself?
Well, Tosh, I'm never forgetting. It's that time of year where Appleton North puts on their musical, and this year it's Hadestown, and my daughter's a part of it, and that's not really even why I'm never forgetting. Of course, I'm not from that standpoint, but I'm just in awe every single time they put on a production at just the production. I mean, they have a rotating stage, the circles. It's a part of the program, the lighting, but more than anything, the talent. I mean, these kids are just, the lead, Orpheus, both of them, it's 2 casts. We're not even talking about a small number of kids. We're talking about a really large cast, two casts in an already big cast of Hadestown, and the talent of these kids and their singing and dancing and just acting abilities are, it's mind blowing. I can't imagine it being any better anywhere. So they're playing this weekend. They're performing. This comes out on Thursday. This entire weekend, Friday and Saturday, they have shows at 7, and they have a matinee on Saturday and Sunday. So there's opportunities to see them, and all of the local high schools, I'm sure, have great theater programs. But boy, oh boy, Appleton North for pretty reasonable price, I would bring the family and go see Hadestown and get your mind blowing.
There you go. Yeah, they do a great job. Ron Parker, fantastic job. Big shout out to him and the countless hours he puts into making these plays happen. And obviously, it wouldn't happen without the talent of the kids as well. So, yeah, get out and see it and support local theater.
I think about that when they step out to the front of the stage, the spotlight's on them, and they're singing or playing the guitar and so whatever they're doing. There's just no fear. I mean, that is like legit the scariest thing that you can do. That's more scary than anything an athlete does, is to put yourself out there solo in front of a sold out auditorium with a spotlight on you and you're singing. I mean, God dang it. That's unbelievable.
Absolutely. Well, good. Yeah. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Joe will be at the Sunday matinee. So look at the white guy with the dreads.
Yeah.
And you
say
can
hi.
see Joe as well.
Oh, that'd be incredible. Even if just one person says hi because they listen to the podcast. Let's make that happen. One time. You'd make my day. Well, anyway, Tosh, this is always a hoot to do this with you. And thank you to Diggstown. I mean, those guys are awesome. We'll there's another place to say hi to Tosh and I, because legit, one of us are usually at one of their shows or, every other show. We're there a lot. Thanks for listening to the Newsa-Cast. We appreciate your support in our journey to highlight and support youth sports in Northeast Wisconsin. Help us grow by subscribing wherever you get your podcasts or sharing the Newsa-Cast on social media. A huge thank you to Diggstown for all the music in today's episode. Catch a gig, find them on Spotify, or check them out at diggstownrocks.com. One of the best ways to help us grow the show is to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and Spotify. It really helps our visibility. This Newsa-Cast was produced by Polywave Studios.